Okay, I think I'm live. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Late start. If you're in the Discord, you know that I have a brand new computer. So I had to update a couple of things. And you can see that we don't have the intro because I don't have it on this computer. So I'm gonna do the disclaimer. Anything I say on this broadcast, it's not financial advice. This is an educational service. Don't take anything I say as investment advice because you could lose all your money. So yeah, I think that kind of clears up the general disclaimer thing. As far as the song, I'm not going to sing it. Brian does a good job with that. Anyway, new amazing computer, love it. So hopefully this stream is super clear and there's no freezing or anything. I'm running a lot of stuff. I've got 32 gigabytes of RAM, so it should all run extremely well. You guys should be able to hear me. I'm gonna type hello. Hopefully there's people that actually show up. I don't know if there's anyone here. There's nobody here yet, but maybe someone will show up. For now, I'm talking to myself. Okay, a lot happened in the markets this week, and I want to go over some key stuff from specifically the S&P. Hello, Ucha. Okay, so I do have you. Hello, Doge and Tesla. Right to request. Yeah, we're not gonna go too long. I'm not Brian. We're gonna talk 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then I'm gonna call it. Yeah, I don't expect people to join too soon because I guess I started pretty late. I spent way too much time trying to figure out a thumbnail. Hello, Thin Air. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over is I want to talk about the S&P. The S&P, I harped and harped about being long last week. I posted in the Discord. I talked about it. I was looking for a bottom. Same with crypto. With Bitcoin, we're gonna go through Bitcoin and how basically I called along here, called it here, and we rode it all the way up, and we're not stopping. This is not stopping. This is the big run. If you are not long right now, if you're not like turbo giga chad super long, you should panic. Okay, you should be very long. I'm very long. I have crypto miners, I have Bitcoin, I have a bunch of altcoins, lots of things, all spot. Now, did I have leverage? Yes. Do I have leverage right now? A little bit, not too much. I wish I had more. I regret not having leverage. And that's only because I messed up yesterday and closed some leverage trades prematurely. And that was because I was outside influenced by other people. And that's where you have to really stick to your trading system and trust it. So we're gonna go through. I might get a chance to re-enter. We'll see. Maybe you guys will too. We're gonna go through it. I'm not sure, but there are some warning signs, more so in TradeFi, that could impact. What is this? Why is my mouse blinking blue? Is that? I don't know what that was. More so, there are warning signs in TradeFi than there are in Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, this is full-on blast-off mode, right? So except we're at my 1.618 right now. So an interesting thing. Do you guys, okay, wait. Do you guys want me to talk about Bitcoin or TradeFi first? Because I can kind of do either. Usually I do TradeFi, but I can do Bitcoin if everybody really wants Bitcoin. I'm gonna give it like 10 seconds because I know it takes you guys a little bit to hear what I'm saying and then respond. Any comments? No? Okay. So we're just gonna do TradeFi then. TradeFi and then BTC. Oh, okay, you guys are just getting it now. So I got one BTC, one TradeFi. BTC first. BTC. You know, if I talk about BTC first, you guys are just gonna leave after. All right, but you know, everybody voted BCC, so we'll do BTC. So let's go all the way back to a weekly chart. All right. So here's the weekly breakout, right, on RSI. Here was our TD8 bottom. Okay, this was your long right down here. I talked about this a ton of times. If you are not long from down here, then you're just like, look at this, 9 confirmed divergences. I mean, I don't know how much more obvious this could have gotten. Like if you're not long from down here, you need to question a lot of things. Okay, so from there, we have multiple. Oh, okay. Well, look at RSI. So this was your big trigger, right? So if you were too scared to get long here, then once RSI crossed over, you had your momentum indicators. This was your signal to get long here. That was your next one. Just get long. It wasn't hard. And then we look here and you say, okay, well, let's say you're long. Well, where is it going? There's multiple targets. So here is 1.618, right? Can you see this? I have a couple different ones. So this is a shorter one, and this is the bigger one. So the bigger one for a daily chart, our next target is basically 108K. So we sat down here at around 1.618 for a little while. Actually, I should tighten this. I try to match them up. This is how I like to match up chaos levels. That gives me a more accurate target. So 1.618, now we're blasting through that. And our next target is 2.618 right here at the old highs. This is where we're gonna struggle. And it lines up perfectly with this zone here. So we'll probably do, one of two things is gonna happen. And I'm gonna talk about TradeFi to kind of show you that, because there's TD8s coming in and a couple weird prints. So we could get something like this. That could happen really fast. And then we're gonna go up here and we'll play in this area for a while. And then we're gonna go up here and we'll be here for a bit. And then we're gonna eventually be up here. We're gonna be up here. This is your big level, 135,000. You see people posting 200, 250,000. It's possible, but I don't know. I think if we get to 130, you should be taking some profits. You really should. I mean, even if we hit 2.618, you might want to take a little bit of profit and then re-enter lower. Just a little bit, not all of it, because we're definitely going to all-time highs. And we do have money supply, right? So that's a big one. You've seen people talking about this nonstop, and I've mentioned it a few times. I don't know if it's a meme or not. I'm not going to totally put all of my eggs in one basket with this thing, but it does seem like there is some kind of correlation, so we can pay attention to it, and it might just become a meme. But it does kind of help us to figure out where does this say Bitcoin could go? Like if this matches here, what does this point to? I need to compress it a bit, actually. Yeah. So you can see, let's be conservative here. Let's say that's like the correct area for Bitcoin. So then this points to around 140, 145,000, while our chaos level 4.618 points to about 4.669 actually, but I just changed it because I think fibs to 1.618, 2.618, 4.618 work really well, and I try to just stick with those instead of the chaos level. But the chaos level is basically almost exactly the same. It's really close. I wouldn't be overly strict with this kind of stuff. That's where you get in trouble when you do that. We also have this target right here. So I have my ABCD here, and this is on a regular scale, but I think this was drawn on a log. Why does that look different? What the hell? Wait a second. Why does that look different? So that lines up with that. Why is this one not the same? Okay, wait. I think it's log. It's because I used log. Yeah, so it's a log scale. Okay, so that's fine. So it points to about 140 with ABCD target. So this would be kind of this is the big zone. This whole area would be where I'd be targeting for this move. And this is going to happen fast. It's going to happen fast. We've got 30, 60 days. That's it. It's like, look how fast this happened here, the last kind of rally right here, right? So let's say that we're right around here. Date range, we're right around here, and we topped out in 64 days. Same here. Ucha, I will get to that. You see I have BTCD on my screen. We are starting to get to my upside area, which is right here at about 65. So there's not that much higher to go. But I want to see a breakdown on this chart before we can get major alt rally. I don't know what this blue thing is. What is that blue thing that keeps showing up? Okay, so there's that. I'm going to get rid of this thing, money supply thingy, and we will change back to a regular scale. Okay, so that's the higher time frame picture. But you guys are probably, hopefully you're not, but maybe you are, total degens on leverage, and you want to know, okay, where do I take my next 100x long? First of all, don't take 100x longs unless a little bit of money. It's fine. I do it sometimes. The rush of adrenaline is fun. Just don't use the portfolio with money that you care about. That's all. But we can go down to higher time or lower time frames, and we can kind of look at like what's going on here. So 4 hour was the big tell. When you have a daily chart that's embedded like this with RSI, this is a big trade secret, okay? When you have RSI embedded up here, these divergences, like you have on the 4 hour, are not going to cause a pullback. Like normally when you get a divergence, you think, oh, the price is going to pull back. That doesn't happen when you've got a daily or weekly chart embedded bullishly. What happens is you get a pullback, and then as soon as the breakout happens, right here, so right here, here was the breakout, you go long, and price is going to skyrocket, and that's what's happening. Now we are pausing because TradeFi is rolling over. We're going to talk about this, and because we do have a TD7 on the 1 hour. So my concern is that there is a 10 to 15% chance that this is a fake out right now. I don't think it's the case, but there is a chance we do something like that. Okay, like this, and then we go up. If you're in spot, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be fine. But if you're 100, this is for the 100x leverage degen people. Understand that this is a potential scenario because TradeFi has a potential to just roll over here. Like, look at, this is ugly. You've got big gaps. You've got a huge gap here. You've got a huge gap here. These are big gaps. I don't know when they're going to fill. The RSI does look extremely bullish. Daily chart, it's quite bullish. I want to use SPX because SPX, you can see we have nothing is broken out yet on a daily. Like, yes, MACD is bullish. However, you've got a TD8 on the daily chart. If we go to a 4 hour, this isn't the type of RSI I want to see or MACD while price is doing this, right? I mean, we're basically creating a massive divergence here. This normally doesn't end well. And that's my concern. And I have a bigger concern now because it rejected from a key level, which I posted about in the room. So this is, we go here to a daily, right? This is a W right here. This is your W. We broke out, confirm the W. So based on that confirmation, we've got a couple levels here. I've got, and I'm using the same principles I used for Bitcoin. This is here, 1.618. This is our 1.618 level. It's a key zone. You can reject from there. It's also was a major resistance if you look back, right? All here. Why is that not? Okay, 1.618, 2.618, and 4.618 up here. Delete this also. So this is a major rejection area. And my concern is that we're going to reject and we're going to pull back again. I don't know how far. We did, yesterday was a nice rejection and rally. Okay, this was nice. So we broke out. This is your downtrend line, right? We broke above the downtrend line. Generally, when you break above a downtrend line, you should retest it. And a lot of times price retests more than once. You retested once, twice, 3 times. This third retest right here, this was a huge long. Very nice long opportunity on this retest. You had a lot of signals to go long on lower time frames, especially 15-minute right here. I think I also posted about this. So there was your, you would have had to really look at this on a lower time frame, but these kind of fast moves you do. So a lot of confluence here. And if you looked very closely, you would have had to have gone to like a 5-minute. This building divergence, okay? Building divergence, key level, boom, you long here, okay? That was the trade. And you can see how it just massively rallied from there. I don't like to go back because that doesn't help you. But from a like lesson perspective, I feel like this was like a really obvious move, and like a nice example. Normally, it's not this pretty or easy. Okay, so now we've kind of got the same thing up here, right? And we've got, but it's slower. So we have this divergence that's come in, right? Price made a higher high, but RSI did not. So we've got this divergence, and we have rejection from a key level. And then the question kind of becomes, well, are we going to just sit up here, or are we going to roll over soon? That part I don't know the answer to, and that's what's difficult. I don't think we'll sit up here too long. I do think we have to pull back. There is an 8 here, so we have a TD9. We'll at least sit up here. I don't know about a huge pullback, but if we do, this is going to be a major area right here at 55.25 on SPX. Yeah, this is your weekly area, daily. So these are key areas, and then also here, and of course here, these kind of zones. You can even use like fibs, right? So if this was going to retrace, let me change this. If this was going to retrace, that's your low, and that's your high. And these are kind of your levels and areas where I would consider entering longs would be here, 78.6, 88.6. This is your zone. Now, if we go to QQQ, actually it's too, this is too high time frame. This is more low time frame. So we'll just stick to this. It'll be confusing if I go to QQ. But if you were going to short, actually I'm in shorts from up here. So if you were going to short, your take profit targets would be here, 38.2 first, and then maybe a 61.8, and then another one here, and here would be your last one, and this would be your entry long. I would enter at least half size here before even market structure or whatever. I would just enter, and then my stop would be the low. Okay, so if we pass through, then I'm out. But otherwise, I would enter because oftentimes price bounces off these 88.6 levels. So just keep in mind, this is a scenario, and it will affect Bitcoin. I don't know how much, but it will. So don't be careful with the leverage. I think you should be long, spot, like 100% long. If you're not long yet, I don't know what's wrong with you. You really should be. I'm hoping everyone here is long. Okay, so on the 15-minute, you can see a 7's coming in. We might bounce here. They might not let it drop. We have to kind of look at options. So you can even see there's a bit of a divergence building here with RSI, and it looks like they might bounce it. They might just keep it up here because of options. Oftentimes lately, the market doesn't move much during trading hours because of so much 0DTE options. And we can look at the options really quick here. So for example, tomorrow's expiry. Look at how many, I was shocked at how many puts there were. Look at how many puts. Put to call ratio is 2.14. You've got, for every call, you have 2 puts. That was a big sign that the market should rally. It's pretty crazy. And right now we're at 56.6. Wait, let me see here. Let's check SPY. Yeah, 560. So that is the exact level that they want for max pain basically tomorrow. Yeah, they don't want it to go above that. They could do here 55.50, might even call max pain. But then for today, you can see today 55.50. 560 is basically the wall. They don't want it to close above that, so I don't think you likely will not get a close above that. I'm hoping we get something way lower. I would say the lowest it'll go is 45.50, so you could get a nosedive to there. It's not going to go below 5,400. And then tomorrow, obviously, your big wall is here, 53.50. Even here, 5,400. I don't see it going below. I'm shocked at the amount of puts here. When you see this many puts, like 2 twice the number of puts compared to calls, you know the market is going to rally. It's not going to go. It already did it. It did it. These puts are mostly destroyed, but it's not going to go below these levels. Something to keep in mind. Yeah, you can see it's trying to push higher now. That's going to bring Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to use every opportunity to rally if the market's pushing higher, and it should outperform. Yeah, QQQ is kind of the same. NASDAQ. Weekly's still kind of bearish, but actually the daily is more bullish than the S&P, I believe. I think you do have a breakout here. Yeah, so this was a breakout, which is bullish for Bitcoin and kind of any tech stocks. This is very bullish. We might get a pullback because of the 7, 8, and 9 before we move higher, but otherwise it's extremely bullish. Not sure what this is. Not as clean though as the SPX, mostly because this is QQQ, but you still have a W here, right? So there's your kind of your general. And you can see we tagged. We also tagged and rejected 1.618. Look at that. And the target is 596. How much is that from here? It's another solid 23% upside from here. It's a nice potential move. Maybe we fill this gap first and then we go higher, but eventually we will end up here. Clear W right there. Okay, but what else I want to talk about? We talked about Bitcoin. I told you need to be hyper bullish. If you're not, you're a fool. Though I don't know about entering up here. You should have entered at minimum here, but more so down here. Well, down here, you had a lot of time. People were asking about alts. So I talked about BTCD. I think for the most part, Bitcoin is going to outperform. You're not going to get a huge alt season until I see this roll over. But alts are going up. Like things are moving higher. You can see here, even this is like Optimus rejected from this approximately 2.618 level, which yes, I'm adjusting to make it fit, but that is usually how it works with these type of things. You see, yeah, there. And that's a target of about $1. Obviously it's not performing nearly as well, but things like Solana look good. I mean, this looks very similar to Bitcoin. You had a big rally from the bottom. Right here on this is a daily chart, by the way. This was a very clear entry, long entry here, touching the underside of the trend line. This is like a key long setup for me. And we rallied, and now we're basing, and we're gonna rally again. You can see how in the 4 hour how that kind of played out, right? But again, my concern is if this pulls back, then all of this stuff's gonna kind of pull back too. SUI is a perfect example of being embedded, like massively long, right? This is crazy. So on a 4 hour, on this breakout, it should have rallied very hard. I'm kind of surprised it hasn't, but at the same time, I know why. It's because legacy markets are kind of dragging things down a bit here. So, okay, that's going on with crypto. SUI, everything's gonna react like this. I mean, I could go over charts of specific names, but I really think that everything's going to do well in various proportions. How high can Ethereum go, according to me? Doge, and then someone asked about Doge and Tesla. Okay, Omar asked about Doge and Tesla, so I forgot about Tesla. Hyper bullish of Tesla for basically since forever. And I draw this every single time. Basically, this is the Tesla long trade right there, targeting 500, around 500. It'll get more accurate when we see where this 1.618 level lines up. But for now, around 500 makes sense to me, which is a bit of a double, more than a double from the lows. And you can see how it broke out on RSI daily. Looks good. Weekly, not yet, but it's getting there. we're on the other side of my. So this is my kind of my trend channel. We are on the other side of it now. Yeah, I'm in large long positions, and I don't see why this won't continue higher. You might have some fluctuations, but eventually this is going to move up. I wouldn't be too concerned about that investment. Okay, so Omar also asked about Doge. Yeah, TRI still holds Rune, as far as I know. I think Fjord is pretty hardcore about it. I want to do Doge. I was typing your name instead of Doge. Look at that. I never saw that before. Okay, so you can see daily bullish, break higher. Didn't break the W yet. This would be kind of the ugly W here. But yeah, clear move higher is going to happen. And if this is your range, could make an argument that this was like the bottoming range. Then target's probably 0.39, which is about 100% from here. I don't see doing too much more than that. I don't think a lot of these legacy coins are going to go as crazy as people think. I think the market's a lot more discerning now, and it's going to be harder to pick coins, and you're going to have to pick coins that mostly have real utility or are very funny, those type of things. I mean, I had Popcat. I still have it. That one has done well since the bottom, so I think it's up. Yeah, it's up 200% since the bottom. So that one did really well, but now on a daily chart, it's not looking great. Like everything's looking great except some of these memes. This looks like it could roll over, and then it'll pull back. That's just the life of meme coins, and then it'll rally again, and maybe you get a big return, but it's gonna drop a lot too. So it's you get a little bit of it's just volatility. You're buying meme coins are super volatile. Okay, so you're welcome, Omar. Baha asked about WOW. Wow, what is that? Oh, it's another new coin. You guys know I hate looking at new coins. There's nothing really you can. It's not enough data to make any kind of accurate prediction. This is more. This is going to be a fundamental story. How good is their marketing? That kind of stuff. I don't really think I can give accurate analysis on something like this. I wanted to touch on gold. People were all hyped about gold, and now it rolled over. So on a 4-hour, we have another 8 and 9 that's tagged, and we're coming into my trend heuristic. And you can see last time we tagged it, we rallied hard from there. You can see we tagged it, and then big 17% rally, right? Well, as of right now, on a weekly chart, we're still in this uptrend here. Basically like that. Weekly still bullish, but we had a TD9 come in on the weekly. We haven't hit my target. I could see it pull back all the way down to 3,000 before we eventually make the run for 3,700. This pullback maybe lasts a few weeks, or maybe only lasts 1 week, like here, just 1 week of pullback, and then we rallied again. And this is where lower time frames come in handy. So this 4-hour, like on MACD, you've got a bit of a divergence here between price, but on RSI you don't, and that's kind of where I would just do something like that, and maybe even go to like a higher time frame, like an 8-hour, and I just wait until we're on the other side of this trend line, and then I'll consider, hunting long opportunities. Until then, the trend is down for me, and it doesn't make sense to go long yet here. We get drops to this 90-day VWAP. Right now we're sitting at the 30. So not bullish on gold yet. Waiting. We did have a nice short trade on it. That went well and closed it at 3,300, and now I got the next leg down. What else do I want to talk about? I feel like I kind of went through everything, but at the same time, I feel like I didn't give you guys enough value. Bitcoin, S&P, QQ, I mean, that kind of covers Tesla. Well, what else is there? I feel like as long as you get that stuff right, everything else kind of follows. So those are the most important to me. Is there anything you guys really want to look at? Any names you've been focusing on, following? If not, probably I'll call it a night. I'll try to post on the site with more updates, and I will post in my Discord little room a summary of this video and kind of my predictions and stuff like that. I've been doing that for the last couple shows, and it seems to work well, and people like it, and you can always look back. Maybe I show you, actually. Show you Julian trades. So here you go. So this is, the TRI room, and here's my kind of summary of the last show I did on the 17th. And I said overall market sentiment, slightly bullish, near-term choppiness. I was expecting consolidation and a breakout, so we got that breakout. I said strategy is hunt for longs, expect one more stop run. I think we did get that. So that was all the S&P. And then Bitcoin, you can see, broke out of range, bullish daily structure, and these are my targets. Same as, we talked about today. It doesn't change. It's every week the same, those long-term targets. So M2 projection continues through May. Consolidation breakout, macro thesis. So this is just like a summary of what I said in that show. And that way you can look back and you can see, oh, he said this, he said that. Oh, he lied. He's totally wrong. And you can see SUI, I said it could reach 386 to 398. Where are we on SUI right now? Yo, look at that. We're at 370, 388. Look at where we rejected. Right here, right at that level. It's like magic. It's magic hitting that level. I think June. I think you'll get till June, Jay, based on previous Bitcoin moves and cycles. I think you might have till June. We'll see. We're gonna have to adjust along the way. I can't say for sure yet. Yeah, so you can see I talked about a couple of these names. XRP upside target of $4. I was watching Solana for a retrace opportunity. Was waiting for a stop run, enter longs, so on and so forth. So that was, that was on the 17th. Right over here, sometime here. And then that was, you could say this was your stop run on like a low time frame. We really didn't get the big stop run I was looking for before we just straight rallied. So then we rallied and we're just heading higher. I don't know if you're going to get any big stop runs. It might just keep going up. I mean, this was kind of your stop run. These little things. You got to look for these in this kind of. You got to look for these, like you get like a 2 or 3% pullback, and then you've got to get long. That's your chance. That's all you get. So I do these after every show. After about a week or a couple hours, I got to wait for YouTube to generate the transcript, and then I copy and paste it in here in this format. If you guys want to see anything different from this, just let me know. I think it's a great way for people that don't have too much time to get an update on what I thought of the market. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I've got. I do think alts look decent here. Again, to recap, everything looks bullish. You should have been long in spot for a while now. Bitcoin is the most bullish. If the stock market retraces, there's a chance that Bitcoin could. Right now, it looks quite bullish, but we do have to keep in mind we have a TD8 on the daily, and we could get a short-term pullback before continuing higher. Now, on higher time frames, I'm super bullish. I'm just talking about lower time frames. You could get some pullbacks. I would use them as long opportunities to get long. That's kind of my conclusion, and I think the next 2 months are going to be, probably major bull. I think the worst is over. Okay. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you.